It started as a moment I would never forget, an afternoon I thought I could trust. My best friend Sarah was laughing, joking, sharing stories like she always did. But then, in a careless burst of laughter and arrogance, she blurted out my deepest secret, my fight with a chronic illness. She described how I was a burden to everyone, how my struggles made me less than, how I was dragging my family down. The room fell silent. My face burned with shame. The laughter faded. All I could hear was the cruel echo of her words reverberating through my chest. Humiliation crushed me. I felt exposed, but beneath that despair, something ignited, a spark of defiance. I refused to be defined by her betrayal, by their judgment. I made a silent vow. This pain would not be my end. I would rise from these ashes stronger, louder, more determined. I left that gathering with tears blurring my vision, but my heart burning with a fierce resolve. I knew I had to turn this darkness into light, this shame into purpose. The road ahead was brutal. The illness didn't disappear, but I refused to hide anymore. I poured my pain into action. I studied tirelessly, learned everything I could about my condition. I connected with others who suffered in silence, their stories mirroring my own. I realized that my struggle was not a weakness, but a testament to my resilience. I launched an advocacy campaign, sharing my story, educating others, breaking the stigma. I spoke at events, created online platforms, and built a community of warriors who refused to be silenced. Months turned into years. My voice grew louder, stronger, unstoppable. I watched as others found courage through my words, as their stories poured out, no longer hidden in shame. My pain had become a catalyst, transforming me from a victim into a victor. I had proved that my struggles were not a burden, but a badge of resilience. And then the day came, my return. I stood before my family and community, not as the broken girl they once knew, but as a woman who had fought her way back from the depths of humiliation. I looked into their eyes, some filled with skepticism, others with newfound respect, and I felt the weight of my journey. I took a breath, steady and fierce. "Look at me now," I said softly, but with unwavering conviction. "Your doubts tried to define me as weak. Your words tried to drown me in shame. But I am here, stronger, wiser, unbreakable. My struggles are my strength. And I will continue to fight, not just for myself, but for everyone who's ever been told they're a burden." In that moment, silence fell. No more whispers, no more judgment, just acknowledgement, an unspoken recognition that I had turned betrayal into power. I had become unstoppable. My pain, once a weapon of humiliation, had become my armor. I had reclaimed my story, and in doing so, I had rewritten my destiny. This was my revenge, not in the silence of revenge, but in the roar of resilience. I am not a burden. I am a warrior, and I will never be silenced again.